and then sharing my screen with you. And what we're going to be looking at today is something called the losing trick count, which I think a number of you are familiar with. Well, I'm going to look at a few other examples of it. So the losing trick count is a very popular method of hand evaluation used once you expect to play in a suit contract. It's not really used for no trump, and it basically takes into account your points and your distribution in a very simple way. And I did have one student, I remember, after we did this in the intermediate course, they said to me afterwards, well, why did we do all that other stuff with points and things? Because this seems much better. Well, it is really an alternative method of hand evaluation, and you need to, it's a good idea to be familiar with this as well as the normal method of evaluating your hand. And I'll go through this reasonably quickly because I think many of you are familiar with this already, but do stop me and ask me questions if you have along the way. So what you do to use the losing trick count is you use it when you are thinking about what to bid, and it's a method of evaluating your hand. What you do is you look at the top 3 cards in each suit. Okay. Yeah, if you could keep the noise down, or I may mute you all if it gets a bit noisy.
Please mute.
So if you look at the top 3 cards in each suit. If it's the ace, the king, or the queen, you treat it as a winner. If it's anything else, it's a loser. And also unprotected honors, such as a singleton king, are losers. So if we take an example hand here, if we look at the each suit, I've marked in bold the cards that are treated as losers there. In other words, you've got 1 spade, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and this is a 7 loser hand. Okay, any questions on that?
No.
You don't look at anything beyond the 3rd card, like 4th and 5th card, are all treated as winners. Here's another hand. How many losers have you got here? Well, we'll count that as 1 spade loser, 1 heart loser, 1 diamond loser, and 2 club losers, because the queen jack are a doubleton. They would fall under the ace king, and so you count those as losers too. So this is a 5 loser hand. Okay, any comments on that? So that's how you count your losers. And how do you use that? Well, once you find a fit in a suit, you count your losers, you add your partner's expected losers, and subtract the total from 18. The result is the level at which you should be able to make a contract in your chosen trump suit. So that's an important number to remember, 18. And let's look at a few examples putting this into practice. So the thing to remember is this table, and especially the first line. It basically says that for an opening hand, a minimum opening hand of 12 to 15 points is typically a 7 loser hand. Typically we'll have 7 loser hand. And then if you're a little bit stronger, 16 to 18 or 19 to 21, you would typically have 6 losers for a medium hand or 5 losers for a maximum hand. And for responder, if you're, for example, raising your partner's 1 of a suit to 2 of a suit, showing 6 to 9 points, that's typically a 9 loser hand. And 10 to 12 is an 8 loser hand, or 13 to 15 is typically 7 losers. So this is a key chart to try and remember, especially the first part of it. And let's see how we use that. So this is a west hand here. What would you open with this hand?
1 spade.
It's 15 points, isn't it? A little too strong for 1 no trump. So you open 1 spade, and you don't use the losing trick count here. You only use it once you've found a fit. So you open 1 spade with 15 points. And imagine east, your partner has got this hand here. Now they now know you've got a fit in spades, and they've only got 7 points in high cards. But how many losers do they have?
7. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
I think it's 7. It's 2 spades, 2 hearts, and 3 diamonds. So it's a 7 loser hand, and that means you can support your partner. And assuming your partner has a minimum hand with 7 losers in it, what you do is you add your losers, which is 7, to their expected losers, take that away from 18, and that would suggest you jump to 4 spades on this hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what you can do.
with the expectation of making that. Okay, when it comes back to your partner, they can then count their losers, and they've also got 7 losers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they would pass. Okay, so they wouldn't go any further, and that would be the final contract. And I hope you can see that 7 playing in 4 spades, you'd have a very good chance to make that. You're probably only going to lose 2 diamonds, and that might be it. Okay, but you should be able to make 4 spades. So what you've done by using the losing trick count is you've taken into account your points and your shape all in one go. Okay, so 1 spade, 4 spades would be the auction on that one. Any comments on that? Okay, let's look at another example. You open 1 heart with this hand. It's 17 points, but we'll just open 1 heart. And what would your partner respond here? Well, how many losers has East got?
9.
9. 9. But they do have a fit for you in hearts, so it's a minimum hand with 9 losers, the equivalent of 6 to 9 points. And so what would they bid?
2
Nice.
hearts.
2 hearts, yeah.
2.
They'd bid 2 hearts, okay. And now it comes back to you, and you started off with counting your points, but now you should switch to the losing trick count. How many losers does West have?
4. 5.
4.
I think it's only 4, isn't it? 1 spade, 1 heart, 1 diamond, and 1 club.
34.
So only 4 losers. So actually, in terms of this scale at the top, you're sort of off the scale, really. You're like a super maximum, if you like. Or, if you like, you can add your losers, 4, to what your partner has shown, which is 9 losers. Take that away from 18, and that comes to 5. That says that you could bid 5 hearts. Of course, we're not going to bid 5 hearts. There's no point in that unless we're looking for a slam. So we would just settle for 4 hearts on this one. Okay. And again, if we have a look at the 2 hands, we can see that 4 hearts should be a good contract. You're probably going to lose a club, a diamond, and maybe a heart. Okay. So that's how you would bid the hand, even though between the 2 hands you've only got 17 points here and 4 points there. It's only 21 points in high cards, but you want to be in 4 hearts there.
Tony, on the east one, it should be 7 plus 9, isn't it? Not 7 plus 7.
Okay, so when your partner, when you're responding to 2 hearts, you don't know your partner's hand, and you assume your partner has a minimum hand, 7 losers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have 9
I'm
losers.
sorry. You're quite right. Sorry, there's a mistake here. I beg your pardon. Yeah, this should say 7 plus 9. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah. Sorry, 18 minus 7 plus 9. Yeah, you're quite right. Sorry. So this double 7 plus 7 should say 7 plus 9. I do apologise. That's for my mistake there. I thought.
2.
Yeah. So you're quite right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for pointing
Tony?
that out. Yeah.
The one bit I don't understand is when it comes to 4, how does that tell you to bid 2?
That's a
Again.
mistake.
Yeah. Sorry. There's a mistake there. There's a mistake in this slide.
No, but the principle of it, I don't care about the mistake.
So it basically you've got 9 losers, so it should say 18 equals 7 plus 9. So 7 plus 9 is 16,
16.
and you take 16 away from 18, and that says you should bid 2.
Yes, but how do you convert that 2 into bidding 4?
You don't. You bid 2 here. So East bids 2. Okay, so it goes 1 heart, 2 hearts.
No, no, you don't understand my question.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. I understand the bit about deducting the 2 losers from 18.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand how that converts into what you bid.
So how many? East here has got 9 losers. Do you agree with that? And
Yeah, yes, whatever. Yeah.
You assume your partner has got 7 losers.
Okay.
So you add 9 and 7, that comes to 16.
Yes.
And you take that away from 18.
And you bid 2.
2, yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Would you
Sorry
bid 2 with only 4 points, Tony?
Yes.
Because you've got a singleton club.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come on to this at the end, but basically the way I would evaluate this hand is I would look at it to start with using my normal thinking, and I'd say, I've got 4 points, but I've got a singleton, so I'm definitely thinking of raising.
Yeah.
In fact, even if I weren't using the losing trick count, I think I would still bid 2 hearts.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 points, but extra points for the singleton.
The singleton club. Yeah.
And so I'd bid 2 hearts anyway. And very often the losing trick count and your normal method of hand evaluation will get you to the same result anyway. But it's very often a good idea to use it as a double check. Okay? Let's try another one. Here you open 1 heart. You've got 13 points. And your partner here bids 1 spade. You were not using the losing trick count yet because we haven't found a fit with that 1 spade bid. That 1 spade bid just shows 6 or more points. But now it comes back to West, and now West knows that there's a fit in spades and can switch to the losing trick count. So using the losing trick count, how many losers does West have?
6.
6. So you are actually 1 better than a minimum. With a minimum hand, 12 to 15 points or 7 losers, you would bid just 2 spades. But you show a medium hand here with 6 losers and the equivalent of 16 to 18 points, if you like, by bidding 3 spades. Okay, and now your partner knows you are showing a 6 loser hand. So they now switch to counting their losers, which is 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they can add their losers, 8, to the losers you have shown, 6, which is 14, and they would bid 4 spades. Or the other way of looking at it is with 8 losers, which is 1 more than one fewer loser than the minimum of 9. You bid one more. If you'd been an absolute minimum, say 9 losers, you could pass 3 spades. But with
Tony, what losers does the West have there? He's got
you tell me. He's got West has got 2 spade losers, 1 heart loser, 2 diamond losers, and a club loser.
Why only 1 heart?
Because you only look at the top 3 cards in every suit.
That's right.
Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 6 loser hand. Okay.
Tony.
Yep.
So are you saying anything less than 7 losers from after opening, you can afford to jump if you've got your partner's suit?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
That's right. So anything, that is exactly what Isabel said. Yes. Okay. Any other comments? Let's try another one. I put this in because I had a question about people who are having trouble bidding slams, and very often you'll find the losing trick count will be a very useful addition to your bidding to help you bid slams. So let's have a look at this one. And you've got a very nice 18 points, but I think I'd still open 1 spade on this hand. How would the bidding go after this? Once you bid 1 spade, East can support you. How many losers does East have here?
8.
3, 6, 7, 8.
8. They have 8 losers. Let's go through it again. We've got 2 spades, 3 hearts, 2 diamonds, and a club. Do you agree with that? So what would you bid with 8 losers?
3.
Yeah, you bid 3. So 1 more. Remember, 9 would be a minimum, but with 8 losers, you bid 3 spades. Now, West switches from counting points to counting losers. How many losers does West have?
3.
Only 3.
Ah.
Okay. Only 3 losers. You agree? It's a spade, a heart, and a diamond. So you can add your losers 3 to what your partner is showing you 8, and that comes to 11. If you take that away from 18, it suggests you could go for a grand slam. You could make 7 spades. Of course, you're not going to just bid 7 spades here. What you're going to do is check on aces or key cards if that's what you're playing. You would use 4 no trump. Your partner shows up with 1 ace, okay, the ace of spades, and now you would happily bid 6 spades on this hand, and have a great chance to make that, barring some terrible distribution somewhere. You should just lose that ace of hearts we have. Okay, so that's an example of a hand where together you've only got 27 combined points in high cards, but the slam is a good option, 6 spades. Okay, you're all happy with that?
Yep.
So if you're bidding, as I said, the best thing to do is sort of evaluate your hand, see what you might bid, and then try and use the losing trick count to see if that confirms your bid. Couple of other things. One further refinement, and there are others in addition, but this is the most common one, is that if you've got the queen on its own without the ace, king, or jack in the same suit, so something like queen 7-6, because a queen is obviously not really as good as an ace, you treat that as an extra half loser and you downgrade your hand a little bit. So queen 7-5, instead of 2 losers, is 2.5. But if you've got another honor with it, then it's just you don't make that deduction. So queen jack 6 is 2 losers. Also, when you're evaluating your hand, have a look at how your cards are, and obviously aces are better than queens. So if you have more queens than aces, then maybe you should downgrade your hand a little bit further. So for example, let's look at this pair of hands here, where West opens 1 spade, and East is going to now support you in spades. Now, how many losers does East have here?
5.
3,
1,
4, 4.5,
7. Oh, sorry. 2,
6,
4, 6, 7. 7.
6.
It's
7.
at least 7, I believe.
7.
It's if we count it as 2 spades,
7
2 hearts, 2 diamonds, and a club, that is 7 losers at least. But
And-
we should make a further deduction for that queen 6-4, because there we've got the queen without any other honor. So that should be more like, instead of 7 losers, 7.5 losers. And also, we don't have any aces. So we definitely want to downgrade this hand and treat it more like an 8 loser hand. If it's an 8 loser hand, what would we bid?
2.
3.
3 spades.
Yeah, we would bid 3
Three.
spades
Three.
there. Okay, and then if we come back to partner, how many losers does West have?
6.
6,
Uh-huh.
3, 4,
6.
6.5.
6 and a
So
half.
it's 6.5, I think.
6.5.
It's
Yeah.
2 spades, 1
7.
heart, 1 diamond, and 2.5 clubs. Okay, so again, that comes to 6.5 losers, and we're going to downgrade that one as well because we don't have any aces. Okay, so we're going to treat that more like a 7 loser
Seven.
hand, a minimum hand. And if we treat it as a 7 loser hand, what would we bid?
Nothing.
3.
We would pass.
Pass.
We play in 3
Pass.
spades on that one. Okay, and as you can see, missing 4 aces, we definitely don't want to be in game here because we can easily lose 4 tricks right off the top. So do use that refinement of looking at your hand, downgrading it if you lack aces, if most of your tricks are in queens especially, and also if you've got queens on their own, you can downgrade that hand too. There are many books on this subject of the losing trick count, and a number of them make further additions. But of course, the more additions you make to the scheme, the more complicated it is. But this is one that's very common, and I suggest you think about that.
Tony, a quick question.
Yes, yes.
In the 7.5 loser hand, you said due to lack of aces, maybe 3. Why wouldn't you just go 2? And if your partner's got the big hand, they can then go on.
Okay. Well, I think, 2 would be suggesting you're 9 losers. And I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. Okay. So, in other words, I don't think I'd treat it as a 9 loser hand. The other way to think about this is, what would you bid if you weren't using this scheme? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, but you've got a singleton club, which is generally evaluated at 3 points. So you would probably bid 3 spades again with this hand. So I do it both ways if you have time, and see if that helps you in your final decision making. I want to include some other information which is new here, which is some other opening bids where you may be able to use a losing trick count and how many losers they show. So an opening bid of 2 clubs, which normally shows 23 points, normally is 3 losers or fewer. A preemptive opening bid of at the 3 level generally is typically a 7 loser hand if you're non-vulnerable, or 6 if it's a sound preempt, a vulnerable preempt. These are not necessarily absolute numbers, but they're good guidelines to use. And they're good guidelines. The way you use them is that if your partner makes a bid like a preempt, you should assume that they have a certain number of losers in their hand if you're then going to think about raising the preempt again, for example. And then 2 other bids that both typically have about 8 losers in them are weak 2s. So a weak 2 bid, which is 6 to 10 points, is usually an 8 loser hand. And a 1 no trump, 12 to 14 points, is also usually an 8 loser hand. Okay? And you can, although you don't use that when you're making that bid, your partner may be able to use that information when figuring out what to respond. So I've just got an example of that. Let's imagine your partner has opened 1 no trump, 12 to 14 points, and you're sitting there with your 10 points and your 6 card suit. And it seems to me you're thinking about, well, I'd like to play this in hearts, but with 10 points, do I have enough points for game, or would I like to invite game, or just sign off in 2 hearts here? Well, you can use a losing trick count here to assist your decision making by counting your losers. And if you count your losers, I think you'll see you've only got 6 losers. 1 spade, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, and 2 clubs. So it's a 6 loser hand. So if you assume your partner's 1 no trump is 8 losers, how many losers does that come to altogether? 8.
14.
It's 14 losers. So if you take that away from 18, that would suggest you bid 4 hearts with this hand.
Really?
Okay? Or if you wish, you could transfer to hearts and then jump to 4 hearts. And pretty much that would be the right bid. Here I've got a hand for your partner where they do actually have a very balanced hand with 8 losers, but 4 hearts is a good contract to be in on that one. Okay.
Tony,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question? Because this is the sort of hand that I sometimes have a problem with. If it's not quite so good and you bid 3 hearts, does that ask your partner to choose between bidding 3 no trumps or 4 hearts? Or
Yes.
is it shut out?
No. So if if you jump to 3 hearts,
Yes.
that is a forcing bid, and your partner
Yes.
must bid 4 hearts or 3 no trump. If you were
So
playing
they do have to bid, because I sometimes have been left in it and I wasn't sure.
tell your partner off.
Find another partner.
If you are playing transfers, you can invite game here.
Yes.
So if you're playing transfers, you could bid 2 diamonds. Your partner bids 2 hearts.
Yes.
And then you could bid 3 hearts.
Yes.
And that would
And then
show.
it's his choice.
Yeah, that 3 heart is not forcing. That is invitational, saying, partner, I've got a hand something like this where I want to invite game. I want to play in hearts. I'm showing a 6 card or longer heart suit, but I'm not sure whether we've got the value. So if you weren't sure, you could invite game by transferring and then bidding 3 hearts.
Right. So that's an important difference, actually.
Yes, that's right. And that's one of the main advantages of playing transfers, that you can invite game on a hand like this, which is not something you can do if you just jump to 3 hearts.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Of course, if you did invite game on this hand, your partner has got a difficult decision, because they've got 12 points at 3 hearts, so it's hard to know what they would do. So, but 4 hearts should make here with any kind of reasonable distribution.
Yes. But on a different hand, if you were marginal, then it would be useful.
Yeah, perhaps if you were, had maybe one didn't have that 1 point less, it didn't have that jack of hearts, you might think of inviting game on.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Tony, just to clarify one thing, opening 1 of a suit is 7 losers, but opening 1 no trump is 8 losers.
Yes, most 1 no trump hands have 1 more loser than opening 1 of a suit.
Even though you might have 12, 13 points in both cases.
Yes. So, in fact, this is a good case in point, where I think you do have 8 losers. 1, 2, 3 spades, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And most 1 no trump hands, because they are more balanced, tend to have 1 more loser. Not all. Sometimes there's 7 losers, but very often it is 8 losers. Okay. And you can use the losing trick count here. I just want to emphasize this. You don't use it straight away, but once you know that your partner here has got a balanced hand, you know you have a heart fit, so now you can switch to using the losing trick count because you know you're headed for a suit contract. Okay. So do use it in those situations as well. As I said, I think the best way to use it is as a useful cross-check of what to bid. And you can also use it even if your partner doesn't use it. You will make bids sometimes that they will think are not quite what they would have chosen, but I think it's a very good adjunct to your bidding. I don't suggest you use it blindly. I think when I first read about this, I thought this is great. And I started using it a lot, and I tended to overbid quite a bit. But I think if you use it as an adjunct to your normal bidding, a cross-check if you like, it will definitely help your bidding. And there are 2 very good articles still on the Mr. Bridge website that talk about this. Mr. Bridge uses exactly the same methodology here, and there's some very good examples of that. Those are on. There are links to that in the slideshow and obviously in this video. Does anyone have any comments or questions on that?
Yeah, yes, Tony. Are you able to share not this slide, but the 2 previous to that, which you haven't included in the handout?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, I just put a new handout on the website just in the last day or so. So, and especially this one, I think people may find useful. Yeah. So I'll put that on there, and also it'll be send out a link to it in the after the talk today.
Okay, that'd be really, really great. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for sharing that.
Any other questions on that?
Yeah, Tony, I've got a question.
Hello, Steve.
There was one of the early hands that you were showing where I think the responder only had about 7 or 8 points, but a shapely hand, and you went one spade, four spades
Yes.
on the losing trick count.
Yes.
There might be a danger that the opener might get a bit carried away and think, oh God,
Yes.
four spades, we're looking for a slam here.
Yes.
And once you go into four no trumps, you're stuck with a minimum of five spades. So
Yes.
you could end up with a contract that's not makeable.
Yes. So this is the hand I think you were talking about here.
Yeah, it is.
And this direct jump, one spade, four spades, should be reserved for a hand that's shapely like this, that's relatively weak in points, but has good distribution. If you have a stronger hand, I mean, when you start off learning bridge, you learn that if you've got, say, 13 points and a fit for your partner, you jump to four spades. But later on, you learn that that's not what most people do. Most people have another way, such as something like Jacoby 2 no trump, of making a bid that's forcing to gain. So so this one spade, four spade bid should be reserved for fairly weak-handed points, not one where you're thinking of wanting to encourage your partner to look to go on for a slam. So that's another valuable sort of addition to this, that you keep the direct raise as a preemptive game raise based on a hand something like this. So that's a good point, Steve.
Aren't we taught though that that's a shutdown? If you do jump, you're basically shutting down.
It is pretty much a shutdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's a hand where you have you're bidding expecting to make four spades, but it is a weak hand, and it's only very, very rarely that your partner would go on after that. Okay, that was it for the talk today. So as I hope you all know, we're on Real Bridge at 2 o'clock. I've opened up the table and hope to see you online later on. Okay.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you,
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy New
Thank you,
Year to
Tony,
you all.
and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
we'll
very
see you
much. Happy
online
New Year.
later on. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.